So today we're going to talk about Riot's announcement yesterday on the new Premier mode that is going into its alpha testing fairly soon to a small group of players. And if you don't know anything about this mode, they have kind of teased this before when they were talking about Pro Valorant and the future of Pro Valorant and whatnot, and how this mode would kind of be built into the game and it would kind of be kind of a stepping stone from, competitive to pro play. And this is kind of in the middle of that, where it's, a potential way for those people who are really serious, who think they can go, pro, semi-pro, or whatever, as kind of a stepping stone for them to play in those really serious matches. Now, that does not mean that is only for, those people. That would be a very small percent of the player base overall. It is for everyone, but that is just one of kind of the ways that this mode is going to be used. If we take a look at what the mode actually is, here's a little screenshot of what it might look like, at least for now, it seems. But what are we testing? What is going on here, right? What will be in it? So basically, the team has designed a new in-game feature called Premier that will allow you to build a team and compete across a season of pre-scheduled matches. In Premier, you'll be able to create or join a team of 5 friends, acquaintances, neighbors, and battle for glory against teams of a similar skill level. After building a roster, your team will be placed in a division where you'll play across a persistent season composed of a mix of weekly matches and tournaments. Each season will last a few weeks, and if you play your sweatiest, your team may qualify into the end of season tournament battle for the title of division champion. So that is what is going on overall here. And I've seen, some comparisons to obviously the Clash mode in League of Legends. I think one of the big differences, and we'll get into kind of the strengths and weaknesses, but one of the big differences from like a Clash mode in League of Legends is that this will last a few weeks, right? This is going to be a bit more of a commitment, I think, overall. And we'll get into, kind of the pros and cons of that overall and see how it goes. But yeah, this is going to be, playing pre-scheduled matches we have here, matches going on here, across the different days. It looks like they're all at a similar time. We don't know the full details of something like this yet, but that's kind of what we're looking at, right? This is going to be a more competitive version of the game, right? It's going to be allowing you to think that you're a pro player and, come up with your strats, and, you're going to get map picks and bans and stuff. And so this is what will be in it. And you can see that, yes, it is people from Brazil. And so you can have team creations with team logos and colors. I'm sure that a lot of people will have interesting things, and some funny names that I'm looking forward to see what people call their team. But then you have tournament play, including a map pick and ban system, which I think is kind of cool, right? We all have those maps that we think we're better on and worst on, and that's going to be interesting to see what people think. You're going to have a premier score, matchmaking, and Q health, so that's kind of what they're testing, right? And general bugs. And so, that's basically what this is, a more competitive way of playing the game, a more serious way of playing the game overall. We also got this tweet as well from Valor Leaks that stuff that is coming but was not explained is phone verification. So that one is obviously important for making sure there aren't any smurfs in these kind of games, right? To make sure that you're not a silver player with your silver team playing against a bunch of, diamonds or whatever, or immortals or whatever, right? So phone verification for this, I mean, it makes sense. It's meant to be a more competitive mode. You don't want people doing that. Points and shop. Now, this is quite interesting. I assume points will be like premier points, right? That if you do well in this mode, you'll get some kind of premier points. The shop kind of intrigues me a bit, and I think that the shop is a thing could be very interesting, right? Do you spend the premier points on things in the shop, potentially like a premier shop that then give you rewards? I don't know. Obviously, we don't know yet, but that would be quite interesting, if there were rewards that after, winning certain amount of points in Premier, you could go to a Premier shop. The only way you can get it is from playing Premier. And, that shop has some interesting things, maybe even skins. I think if it had skins in it, that were exclusively only got by having enough points, that would be quite cool, I think, and would be a great way of, trying to make people play the mode as well, because people would obviously want those kind of exclusive skins that you could only get in one way by playing this mode. I think that would be definitely pretty interesting. Divisions, they kind of mentioned in there as well. I'm assuming that will be based on your skill rank of your team. I'm not sure what restrictions is, and potentially more as well. So, this does seem like, the alpha is there, but there is more to come as well. And so now let's talk about some pros and some questions I might have as well overall for this mode. This is the screenshot from it. And you can see we've got, Division 11 here, 0 points. Progress to playoffs, 0 out of 500 points. So, I'm guessing that means if you win a certain amount of games, you'll get a certain amount of points. You seem to have maybe the team name here with the logo that part of my face is covering there as well, and a bunch of upcoming events, a bunch of scheduled matches or whatnot. So that looks like what it is going to be. You've got like the team tab here, match history, and the hub page, it looks like as well. And this is what it looks like. And let's start off with some pros. And my first pro really is going to be, this is a new mode to play the game in, and that's good, because I think that Valorant is kind of lacking. I mentioned this in a video a couple weeks ago or whatever it was. The one thing I think Valorant can improve on is different ways of playing the game. It's been a long time since we got a new way to play the game of Valorant, and I think this can only be good, because I think there are holes right now, as the game of Valorant is right now. There is holes in terms of, if we take like a spectrum of like super competitive to, super casual, there are gaps in here where we have some more casual modes. We've got kind of the normal competitive mode. This will hopefully fulfill that super competitive side of it. And then you've got maybe a gap as well in between like the middle of it all, right? Like, I think that adding new modes, good. And I think one of the main beneficiaries, and this will be a small, sect of people overall, this won't be a massive slice of the player base, but if you are an aspiring pro player, right? If you are a young, aspiring pro, you really think, if I take this game seriously, I could genuinely be a pro player, that's my goal, then this is a godsend for you, right? Because up until now, the only way you've really had to go, everyone's kind of, advice for those players was just, well, get to Radiant, and then, maybe see if you can, find a couple friends to play with or whatever of a similar level, and start maybe booking some scrims or whatever, right? But this will make it, I think, more streamlined, more easy for everyone to do that, right? You can hopefully find a team. There will be more people looking for teams probably as well, to take part in these modes. You'll be playing in more serious games. You'll have map picks and bans. It will be more of a, pro experience in a way. So I think that, this is a very, very good thing if you are an aspiring pro. And I think for those, small set of people, this is an absolute godsend of a mode. And then finally, I think this would be really good for the pro scene just overall as an ecosystem. This mode, and potentially the, the games being kind of built into this, the pro games being built into it, right? It would be interesting if you could go onto the pro teams and take a look at their matches, on this. Currently, they're just being played in custom games, right? If it does get integrated into this and everyone can take a look at those matches and the stats from them afterwards, right? And take a look at who killed who and all of that stuff. That would be great as well for the pro scene as a whole. So you can go back to, some of the biggest games in pro Valorant and take a look at them and how it went on, right? That would be really, really cool. And I think, that kind of is only going to help the pro scene as a whole, assuming that this is kind of integrated into the kind of pro system. But there are some questions I have about this mode overall, and I've seen, comparisons to the Clash system in League of Legends, and obviously it will probably be, somewhat similar, but I think one massive key difference is that unlike Clash, which lasts like a weekend, each season will last a few weeks here, right? This is going to be a bit more of a commitment overall, which makes me have some doubts about it overall, right? It's very easy to commit yourself to a weekend, right? Are you doing anything this weekend? No. Okay, do you want to do this Clash thing, with a group of friends or whatever? Sure, in you go, you do it, right? Lasting a few weeks, are you busy for these next few weeks? I don't know. Am I? Maybe. maybe not. I don't know. And that to me is kind of a question, right? Because here, like when we look again at this, right? And you look at like when the games are scheduled and whatnot, they're all at the same time on these different days or whatever, happening every, like it goes from Friday to Monday here and then a gap to Friday again. Like, is this fixed? Do you simply have to play it at that time, right? What if I aren't available at that time, but I am earlier in the day? Can I reschedule? Because, if this is lasting a few weeks, I'm not going to be free every single day that this is on, right? So that is a question to me. Can you rearrange these games? Do you just take an automatic loss if 5 of you can't turn up for every single one? Don't know, right? Don't know the details on that, and that to me is going to be pretty interesting because for the aspiring pro players, I'm sure they'll all want to be there, right? They'll want to be taking part in it. But for your silver team, bro, I'm going out. I'm going bowling, bro. On Friday, I'm bowling. I don't have time to play, or whatever it is, you're going to do you're touching grass, So I don't know. That's a big question for me, because if it is like you have to play and you're just gonna take an automatic loss if you're not there, specifically when we have decided you need to play this game, you can't reorganize with the other team or whatever, that I think would be a problem for a system that is meant to last a couple weeks. Or, and it depends on what the penalty is for not being there, right, and all of that kind of stuff. We'll have to see, but there isn't enough information right now for me to really say whether that's a good or bad thing. The next thing I think is going to be super important for this mode and the success of this mode will be the rewards, right? In terms of getting, those non-aspiring pro players or pro players into this mode, there needs to be some kind of, rewards, and I think exclusive rewards, ideally, that, you do get these premier points or whatever, and then you can spend those premier points on things. I'm expecting stuff that you'll probably get, like, little tags, maybe cards as well, but I think skins would be a really, really big incentive for people to, really want to play this mode and really try their best at this mode, and the skins that you got from it wouldn't necessarily need to be like a dragon vandal, right, with a bunch of flames and bells and whistles going on. I think could just be a fairly basic skin, but as long as it was like an exclusive skin that wasn't super easy to get, that would make people, I think, want to be a part of this mode a bit more. And then the last little question that I have for this mode as well is that, you'll be able to create or join a team of 5 friends that it mentions here. Again, because this is going to be a bit more of a commitment, right? Because this is going to be across a couple of weeks or whatever, can you have more people join a team? Can you have, a 6th, 7th man, that if I can't make it, if I am, going and touching grass one day, that's fine, because we have, Jim, who's ready to swap in. Jim, we like Jim, and he's ready to swap in. Is that how it will work, right? Can I do that? I'm kind of thinking like pro clubs from FIFA, right? Where on pro clubs on FIFA, you can have, a ton of people join the club, and then, you just play, and whoever's there plays, right? Will it be like that because this is a bit more of a commitment? Or will it be, no, you only can have the same 5 throughout? If so, again, that is going to make it more difficult to kind of, get the schedule of these games going and understand, where exactly these games are, and being able to play all of those games as well, I think becomes more difficult if that is going to be the case. So we'll just have to see for some of these things, but I think it's an interesting mode. I think it will be, a good addition to the game overall, and I'm excited to see exactly what they will do and what exactly it will look like as we get, the fully developed version coming out, hopefully pretty soon. But let me know what you think in the comments down below, your thoughts, your wishes, your hopes, and your fears, and with that, have a really nice day.